The Brew House was created to capture and share with you the long history of the Genesee Brewery, but the brewery itself isn't half as interesting as the beer and the people who make it. Visit GeneseeBrewHouse.com. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This is the original Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bill Pucko, joined by Jenna Cottrell from Channel 13, Kim Berntson, and Duffy from the Breakroom. Nice to have you guys.
They all get really nice introductions, and I do Duffy.
You go by Duffy.
Okay, fine.
Pat Duffy.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk a little sports. Who we like and who we don't like. And this is really going to come to a head, I think, this week, because as we begin the NBA championships, it seems nobody likes LeBron James and everyone likes Steph Curry. Why does this happen?
I think just because Steph is so relatable. You know, you see him, he's 6'3", he's not an athletic phenom like, LeBron is 6'8", he's a tank. He's got all those muscles. You see Steph, he's someone that he wasn't the first overall draft pick. He went to Davidson. Yes, I know about his father and his brother. Obviously, there's a lot of athletic talent. But the fact that he was the one that really worked on his skills, he was the one that improved his shot. He's so relatable. And you see him with his kids. How can you not like that?
Is it fair just to base it on relatability?
No, well, it is funny because, she brings up, Steph Curry is this underdog guy. Steph Curry is the child of a professional athlete.
Yes.
LeBron James is raised in one of the hardest cities in America, in Akron, Ohio. Not only that, he's a guy that's never had any kind of scandal, married the mother of his children, his high school sweetheart. The only thing that he's done is sent out a couple of misguided tweets and left the city he came from. That being said, I hate LeBron James and I want Steph Curry to win this championship. Well, it's a Western New York thing, and it's a what LeBron did to Cleveland thing. I don't want Buffalo to be the sad joke sports city of America. Cleveland still has that. If they get a championship, it now becomes Buffalo, and we are sad, desperate people. I don't want to be a sad, desperate person.
But wouldn't you want that? As someone that's from the Western New York area, don't you want to see someone that hasn't had a title get that?
Oh no, it happened in New England, and I hated everybody from New England after the Bruins, Celtics, Patriots, and Red Sox did it.
That was tough.
You guys became the worst people on the planet.
Kim, who do you like? It doesn't even have to be these two guys. Who do you like?
So I think people tend to like the person that they could. Who would you rather have as your teammate, right? Because I think personally, I'd rather have Steph Curry as my teammate. But at the same time, because I wouldn't want to go against LeBron. He's a competitor. He's tough out there. I don't know. I think I like Steph Curry more, even though they're really both polarizing figures, and they both should be. Because, like you said, LeBron came from Akron, Ohio, built himself up. Steph Curry was kind of born into it, people would say. And by the way, Steph Curry is pretty cocky out on the court too. I know a lot of people criticize LeBron James.
He gets compared to Cam Newton a lot.
Yeah. Yes, but people hate Cam Newton but love Steph Curry. It doesn't make any sense to me.
See, I'm a lifetime Boston Red Sox fan. My two favorite ball players are Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates, who spent most of his life in dreadlocks, and Jose Bautista of the Toronto Blue Jays. Ooh. I think these guys represent what baseball ought to be all about, but it's totally off the grid for me personally,
But I mean, you're a guy who's covered sports your entire life, so you know how boring sports can get if you don't have these personalities like your Jose Bautistas and your Andrew McCutchens and your LeBron James and your Steph Currys. You need these guys, your Cam Newtons, or else it just becomes background noise and nobody pays attention
Exactly.
anymore.
You need that villain. Well, whether or not someone says LeBron is a villain, I think that's a little much, but you need those polarizing figures to kind of draw people in.
So are we getting behind LeBron at all here?
I like LeBron. Come on. Okay, yes, he left. There was the decision, which was a terrible decision.
By the way, if they go, he's going to go again. He's gone again. If they win this championship,
he's
he's gone again. Mark my words. If they win, which I don't want them to, and I don't think they will, LeBron is back in Miami with Dwayne Wade.
I do not think so at all. He's made his home back in Cleveland. He's made that very clear. Okay, he could leave, but I really don't think...
That's a pretty quick backtrack.
I don't think he will, though. He could if he wanted to. Obviously, there's that option, but I don't think he would. I think he's made it pretty clear that he wanted to come back, he wanted to win a title there, and he wants to build something there.
This is the original Rochester Press Box presented by the Genesee Brew House. We're going to talk a little sports television next. The Hillside Family of Agencies works with youth and families on their own terms, helping them pursue their own goals, whether at home, work, school, or one of the Hillside campuses, offering encouragement and commitment, standing with families, helping to create a healthy future. The Buffalo Bills Quote of the Week was brought to you by the Rochester Geico Office. Give the Rochester Geico team a chance to see how much you could save on all your insurance needs. Call or stop by the office on West Henrietta Road, open Monday through Saturday. Geico Rochester Quote of the Week. Pat, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's much ado about nothing. I mean, okay, let's hope he's back by training camp. Even if he's not back by training camp, I am not opposed to giving all of these, what they're calling second and third rate receivers, all the reps you can get during training camp. I mean, they've played with Sammy before. Tyrod knows Sammy. It's a little concerning he doesn't know how he broke it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, if I'm just walking around all of a sudden, oh, my foot's broken, I'd be a little worried about that. But I think it's more blown out of proportion than it should be right now.
I just hope it's not chronic. This portion of the original Rochester Press Box brought to you by our friends at the Hillside Family of Agencies. Kim, ESPN is like losing subscribers at a shocking rate. Mm-hmm. As far as you can tell, where are we headed? Like, what's the payback here?
Because I don't know where people are going to. Because I don't know what the alternative is, I guess, to a sports center, as you would say. Like, where are people going now to get that type of news? Is it the internet? Because I know a lot of people just follow their Twitter feeds all day and kind of get the same thing, if not even more in depth. So I wonder if it's because people aren't watching because the news is coming faster via things like Twitter and social media, or if they're just kind of sick of the same old, same old.
See, it peaked in 2011, and it's about a 15% drop since then in the amount of people that are subscribing to ESPN. And what's the alternative? Like,
oh, I mean, it's crazy to me because I totally can see the drop. I don't have cable. My friends don't have cable. A lot of younger people are like, whoa, that's way too expensive. So what do? Social media.
But it's almost sports that keeps it there, though.
I agree.
That's the one thing you
sports is un-DVRable, but at the same point, you can be on your computer just as easily watching the game, or you can also be, out to eat or something and just following it on Twitter or social media and having that exactly what you want to see. People love to hear their opinions and see that, and you can follow your favorite sports personalities and people that back up, how you feel.
You can be more selective.
Exactly.
You don't have to get the broad angle of sports. You can get just specific teams if you want, just specific sports. Whatever you want is out there. You can narrow it down.
Yeah.
ESPN made a fatal mistake 10 years ago. You had your personalities like Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, Kenny Mayne, Bob Lee, Chris Berman, and they realized that those guys cost too much money when they made their own personalities. So they tried to make everybody cookie cutter in the same way so they wouldn't have to pay these guys absorbent contracts. When they did that, they saved money. They also took away what made ESPN unique. Why is ESPN now, with these no-name, dreamy-looking anchors that I'm watching, any different from Fox Sports 1, NBC Sportsnet, the 1,000 different other places? I will listen to Dan Patrick or Rich Eisen or, other talking heads because of their personalities. I don't need a good-looking guy with a personality to tell me something I can read on Twitter.
Well, they're going to have to change the model. I mean, do you see...
Well, I think they already have, though. If you look at how they're doing the Scott Van Pelt show, that's totally new. I think they're realizing that those personalities are what make them money. But it's still interesting to see, the Colin Cowherds and the Mike Tiricos walking away from ESPN. And, I mean, I get you do save the money up front, but at the long term, people tune in to see those personalities.
So is this like something that everything's going to just fall into line on? It's all going to be on your computer someday?
I mean, honestly, I think I don't know how long that will take, but I could definitely see that being the way it goes.
The only reason it might not is just because, I know me, I'm a big college football fan. So I need these certain outlets if I want to see certain teams play. So that would really be the only team that stays is if they're buying these big events and these big teams. That's what they have the rights over. So that's what's going to make people watch.
And the rights keep getting bigger and bigger.
Oh
and somebody's going to have to put the brakes on it somewhere, or the whole thing's going to explode. This portion of the original Rochester Press Box presented by Hillside Family of Agencies. Like it or not is next. As we go to break, it is time for the Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning Trivia Question of the Week. When you're searching for a local heating and air conditioning contractor, look no further than one of the most reliable teams in the area at Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning. Is called Turnbull at 343-2005. As we come back from the break, time for the answer to the Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning trivia question of the week. When you're searching for a local heating and air conditioning contractor, look no further than one of the most reliable teams in the area at Turnbull Heating and Air Conditioning. Just call 343-2005. See New York in a whole new way. Amtrak is offering a 15% discount for all travel inside New York State and Montreal. Visit Amtrak.com for the See New York discount. Safe, comfortable, affordable, and easy. Amtrak. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. This portion brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey. Like it or not, Pat, the Stanley Cup Finals.
I'm having a hard time watching the Stanley Cup, and not because it's not great hockey. I love the hockey. I don't want San Jose to win the Stanley Cup because California teams shouldn't win a Stanley Cup, and I hate the Pittsburgh Penguins with all of my might. In fact, it was me 2 weeks ago on the show that said the Penguins were overrated and going to get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Did you ever notice all he does is say what he doesn't want? Like, can we have some positivity to this conversation? I don't want LeBron. I don't want the Sharks. I don't want the Pens.
All right. I love Brent Burns, the defenseman for the San Jose Sharks who can play forward as well. I love the fact that I'm pretty sure that the Pens are going to lose the next 3 games straight. I don't love the fact that these games are going to be 9:30 starts when they're back in California. With my schedule, I can't watch these things. How about like 4 in the afternoon? That'd be good.
Even being an avid, because you're the avid NHL guy.
It's tough to stay
It's
awake.
the draw.
It really is.
But the draw in terms of teams, you don't.
The NHL got killed when the Blues got beat. When the Blues were knocked out in the Western Conference Finals, I think the NHL knew they were in trouble.
Yeah.
San Jose, I mean, come on.
No,
It got 1/10 the rating that the final game of the Warriors Thunder series got.
But which also it's tough too because actually pretty good games just in terms of it's not a blowout. The NBA, the NBA finals or not finals, but leading up to it so far have been the series have been kind of close, but the actual games themselves have been not the best. But at least in hockey, it's been good games, but just the team, it's not going to have the same draw.
And that's the thing too with hockey is it's always great. Like playoff hockey is always great no matter who's playing. I just for whatever reason it doesn't catch on with people the way that. I mean, I watch what I can, but honestly,
Your schedule too.
It's tough with my schedule to catch, especially the games that start at 9 o'clock at night.
Well, it's the same problem World Series baseball has. You start these games at 9 o'clock Eastern times. Well, the game doesn't end until 12:30 at night. What am I supposed to do? Sacrifice
What are
work?
you supposed to do if you're in Seattle, though? I always wonder about these. But again, they're starting these games during rush hour.
Yeah.
And if they move them up, you're talking about starting games at 4 o'clock on the West Coast.
Yeah, but what about me?
Yeah, I know.
What about
Your point made.
Your biggest audience is right here in Western New York for hockey, whether there's a team in it or not. I mean, this is where I think we're the top 3 markets for hockey. And if we can't watch it, who's watching?
Jenna, like it or not, Daryl Strawberry says to get to the next level that the New York Mets ought to go out on the town and get involved in a few fights.
That to me is just the most absurd thing ever. That not 1986. Yes. Well, just in terms of Daryl Strawberry's a great player, undeniably so. But at the same point, I'm not taking personal advice from Daryl Strawberry. Just in terms of, he's gotten into some issues, a lot of them. So I get what he's saying. That worked for that team. That did. But this team, this 2016 group of Mets is different. And they have proved that they can win, maybe not a World Series championship, but still it was their first playoff appearance since 2006. Let them do what they got to do.
Do you need friction on a team to be successful, do you think?
I think that's a recipe for disaster, honestly. In terms of if there's friction, I guess at one point, yes, you push each other, which is important, but at the same point, you have to be cohesive on the field, on the diamond, on the court, and if you can't have that chemistry outside of the court or on the field, I don't think that's going to translate when you step onto it.
Kim, like it or not, the WNBA.
Like it or not,
it's their season.
The WNBA. Well, here's my problem with the WNBA is because I fell in love with certain players, Skylar Diggins, Brittany Griner, when they were in college. It was so much fun to watch them. It seemed like they went to the WNBA and you never heard from them again. And I don't know if that's just because the games aren't as fun and entertaining or, the atmosphere is not the same as it is in college. And it's hard for me to ever get behind the NBA or the WNBA when nobody else is either. So I think for whatever reason, people just don't grasp onto it.
It's there. As a matter of political correctness, there it is. I don't know anyone who watches it. Why is it there?
why don't you just run commercials from now on that say, hey, guys, WNBA, you're a jerk if you don't watch it? Because that's pretty much what they're trying to tell me,
kinda are.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't like women's basketball. Does that make me a bad person? I like all kinds of sports. I'll watch women's hockey. I'll watch women's softball.
Tennis?
I'll watch women's tennis. I don't like women's basketball. Come in my house and arrest me. I'm not going to watch it. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of it is the atmosphere. I really do. Like, it's not that fun to watch an empty stadium or a gym or whatever, and just two teams almost looking like they're playing like a pickup game. Like, if you walked into that gym, you would think it was practice because there's nobody there.
It's like a second-tier football,
Yes.
college football bowl game when there's nobody in
Right.
the stands. You think, why are they even there?
Right.
This portion of the original Rochester Press Box brought to you by Amtrak Trains. Enjoy the journey, and Unfinished Business is next. The Rochester Press Box Stat of the Week, brought to you by Cariglio's Pizza, with 5 locations serving the Rochester area. Visit carigliospizza.com today.
The urban eclectic alternative, 100.9 FM, WXIR.
Extreme independent radio, Rochester, New York.
Hot chocolate happiness knows no season. Dunkin's irresistible hot chocolates are now available frozen. Indulge in your favorite today. America runs on Dunkin'. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box, presented by the Genesee Brew House. Unfinished Business, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Pat.
So I got 2 daughters, 5 and 3 years old, and I decided to go do something I hadn't done in a long time, introduce them to a classic American sport. So I get in my car and I drive them down to the links where everything's supposed to be. And the mini golf course that I played at when I was a kid, it's not there anymore. So I go, all right, it's fine, put them back in the car, go down Westwoods Road to find the other mini golf course, the rinky-dink place I used to play at when I was a kid. And that one's closed now too. So I had to go to a national chain mini golf course to go play mini golf with them. And that's when I realized I hadn't played mini golf in like 20 years. And apparently no one else has either, because I saw a story earlier this week after I brought my daughters about how mini golf places are closing across the country. And I don't know why, because I haven't been doing it in 15 to 20 years, but it breaks my heart that I may not have this to share with my daughter, or my daughters definitely won't have this to share with their children when they grow up. I can't drive a ball to save my life. Every iron that I hit, I slice 300 yards to the left. But I'm really good at mini golf. And if it's something, it is part of the American fabric. It's like the bowling for outside. Do yourself a favor, grab your kids, go play a little mini golf this summer. This shouldn't go away, Bill.
You know what else is dying is bowling.
It is odd, right? Yes. Right? I can get drunk and do that. More people should be doing that. Well, drink at the same time. And,
Yes.
you know, you
Public service announcement. Jenna.
Why the words from Pat Duffy? No, so today I was on my phone and I saw a notification pop up saying the fact that it's been 500 days since the start of Deflategate. And I was thinking about it, and in this case, you know, whether the fact that there's not really that much evidence, or people can say there's a witch hunt on Tom Brady. That's the word that I keep hearing, a witch hunt about Tom Brady. And it annoys me because this case, I feel like you look at it, in the collective bargaining agreement, which the players agreed to in that contract, they basically gave Roger Goodell the ability to be the judge, the jury, and the prosecutor. So they agreed to that. And the fact that, yes, it was a 4-game suspension, which was so crazy, a lot, based on the fact that there really wasn't a lot of evidence, but the players still agreed to that. So I don't want to hear that it was a witch hunt on Tom Brady. He knew the agreement and the terms of the contract when he got into it. It's not a witch hunt. I promise.
You know, like a labor agreement can supersede the law in some cases.
It's crazy, but that's what you agreed to. And if you don't know the terms of a contract going into it, why are you agreeing to it?
Yeah. Boy, it's a hard line. Kim.
Well, if you want to go out and see some great baseball this summer, you really don't have to go far. Normally, like, you'd go to Toronto, you'd go to Cleveland, you'd go to New York to see a great baseball game. Well, this summer, it looks like the great baseball is going to be right in your backyard, because right now the Red Wings are between first and second place with Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees affiliate, and they've been playing great baseball. They have one of the best prospects in baseball going up and down in the organization in Byron Buxton. They have Max Kepler, and they have Adam Brett Walker, who's come out of nowhere and had a hot bat all season so far. So if you want some great baseball, great atmosphere, affordable for the family, great food, let me tell you about the mac and cheese at Frontier Field. That's where you want to go. Take your family this summer. You won't be disappointed, although, and I can guarantee you nobody's going to get knocked out at second base. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
That Adam Brett Walker is something. He's like
He
this
really
big
is.
guy.
Oh
He
my
hits
gosh.
tape
And
measure
he-
home runs.
Seriously.
I believe he hit it out of the ballpark.
Literally,
the other,
it landed
yes.
on, I don't know that street, but it's like 450 yards.
Yeah.
I've never
I'm
had
still
the-
new here.
I've never had the chance to ask this question. I mean, you brought it up. Do chicks love the long ball?
In terms of, I mean, I
Well, I was
think
hearing.
anyone.
Did
I
you
mean,
just follow do chicks love the long ball with it in terms of, in what way do you
in
mean
terms
the
of
long
being
ball?
able to be like the person that's the one that the team depends on, and I mean they're flashy.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun
Let's get
to
you
watch.
to the game?
I think everybody loves the long ball.
Yeah, I mean I don't want to go to a game and see bunts. Like I like when a
that's-
guy can go yard, of course.
All
I
right.
think if anyone on a team can step up to the plate and do that,
That's
of
the
course
Red
it's
Wings this
impressive.
year.
Yeah.
If this were the break room, you'd have to have like.
Yes.
Your faces
There
are
are certain words that I don't say anymore.
I don't even. This is fun.
This portion of the original Rochester Press Box has been brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Thank you for joining us, Jenna. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And you guys,
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week on the original Rochester Press Box.